Hi guys, I recently had a shop update and this is how I organize all of my orders. I find that writing it out and doing tally marks is the best way for me to keep track of everything. And when I get a new order, I can just add on another tally mark. For most of today's video, I'm going to be sculpting these bento box magnets. So if you'd like to work alongside me, then please feel free to do so. I usually spend the entire day mixing all the colors that I need to do my sculpts. Yesterday, I did the bases for the bento boxes as well as mixed all the colors that I need. So today, I can finally make the small details to fill in my little bentos. I spoke about how I started my business a little bit before, but I never actually gave you guys the full story. And I'm in a yappy mood, so I'm gonna tell you guys how Omipon came to be. I started polymer clay when I was 12 years old because my best friend at the time was interested in it. So whenever I came to her house, me and her would just make little polymer clay things that we would see online. One of my favorite polymer clay creators on YouTube was Jellyfish Charms and Funky Pink Gal. And I don't know if you guys remember this crafter, but her name was Aboro Charms, and I remember we would always go on her website and look at the cute things that she would make. I did polymer clay for about a year, and I even had my own YouTube channel back then, and I only had 200 subscribers. I would just do charm updates, and I would put on a fake British accent because I was really terrified of people finding me. Then things got pretty busy, so I didn't touch polymer clay again until I was a junior in college. So in 2018, I decided to pick it back up because I went home for the weekend to visit my parents. And then I found a box of some really old polymer clay, so I decided to make a Bulbasaur for my boyfriend. I only made the bulb part of the Bulbasaur and then I showed him and he was hyping me up so much, so it gave me the confidence to keep making more. After that weekend was over, I decided to bring my little toolbox full of clay back to my school dorm with me. During this time of my life, I was very depressed and I also had very bad insomnia. I would sleep about 4 to 5 hours a week. I was very underweight and I also could not stop physically shaking. And I wasn't really able to tell anyone about my struggles except for my boyfriend. I come from a Vietnamese household, and in this household, we don't talk about our feelings and we also don't show our feelings. I remember when I was younger, whenever I would cry, I would get beat very badly. At the time, I felt like a big fraud because I was failing school and everyone thought that I was doing really well. I received a warning saying that if my GPA dropped by 0.1 more points, I would be put on academic probation. I was in such a privileged position to be able to even get a higher education, and I felt like I couldn't tell anybody about how I was actually feeling because it would come across as very ungrateful. My dad also lost his job at this time, and my mom was facing really bad health issues. She was in the ICU for a while. And this sounds really cheesy to say, but I feel like polymer clay really helped me. It was a good distraction from everything that was stressing me out, and I feel like going back into my little dorm room after the day and having something to look forward to was really great. I would stay up pretty late, not only because I had insomnia, but because I could practice my sculpting skills. This is why I'll always encourage people to find a hobby and find multiple hobbies. It helped me express my creativity, and in doing so, I feel like I got a lot of personal growth from this. I slowly learned to trust myself and trust that if I don't get something right the first time, then I can keep trying over and over again until I do. So I started posting everything that I made under the name Omipon. There's no real meaning behind my name, I just made it up because I thought it sounded pretty cute. And then slowly but surely people started following me. So for a while, I would mind my own business, make what I want to make, and then post it online on Instagram. I never had intentions of making this into a small business or even selling my art until one day a girl DM'd me on Instagram and she asked me how much I was selling my bunny charm for. I was freaking out so much because this was the first time that anyone had ever said they wanted to buy my creations. And then from there, I made an Etsy shop. And then I basically learned everything as I went. So I learned how to do taxes, I learned how to pack everything, how to ship everything. I learned about what materials were good and what materials were not good. I fully believe in the quote that says experience is the best teacher, and you just learn as you go. So if you're somebody who is very nervous about starting your small business or starting your page, please don't be. If you don't know something, then please trust yourself enough to know that you will find an answer and you will learn how to do it for your own sake. Trust yourself enough to know that if a problem does pop up, then you can handle it. So I don't really know when or how this happened, but eventually I started to get better mentally and emotionally. I think the biggest contributing factor was polymer clay and having that little art community that I could look forward to. I really loved interacting with people in the art community because we shared a common interest, which was polymer clay, and we could kind of help each other out, as well as inspire and encourage one another. I think polymer clay helped me a lot with my self-confidence because if I got something wrong, then I could keep practicing over and over again. And I feel like having a goal is so important to keeping yourself on track. So I don't know how, but eventually I ended up graduating with honors in university. I graduated with a biology degree, which is funny because now it has nothing to do with what I'm currently doing. I think the two biggest things that helped me grow my art account was to be involved in your community as well as be consistent. Whenever someone would comment on my post, I would always make sure to reply. I feel like with whatever you're doing, you should always be genuine and have pure intentions. So whenever you do support someone else, don't do it with the thought that they can give something to you, but do it because you genuinely want to see someone else succeed. The next important thing is consistency. Keep uploading photos of your art or videos of your art. Even if it doesn't do well, it doesn't matter. As long as one person sees it, that's all you need. So I'm incredibly grateful for everything, and thank you guys so much for supporting me. I feel like I'm living my dream life and I'm trying to soak up every single second of it. This is off topic, but I wanted to show you guys the magnets that I made last week. Can you see them? They're little cookie magnets, and I really like how they turned out. This one is modeled after Bean. This one is just a little chocolate chip cookie bear. As you can see, they're magnets. So this is my first time shading with chalk pastel. I have been trying to experiment more because I'm really bad at it. Let me know if you guys like them and if you have any tips for shading with pastels. Sculpting break because I want to open up this blind box. Give me anyone except for Usagi. I really want Connie though. She's my favorite. Or this one. Please, what is it? Oh my god! I got the one I wanted. I've always wanted a figure of her. She's so cute and so perfect. Oh my goodness. People always ask me how I don't get bored of doing the same thing over and over again. It's because I genuinely love sculpting, and this business was formed out of passion and love rather than necessity or money. A quote that I really love is, "What a privilege it is to be tired from the work you once prayed for. What a privilege to feel overwhelmed by the growth you used to dream about." There are many blessings and challenges that come with running a small business, but I'm gonna take advantage of every second that I can get to sculpt because this is everything I wanted.